Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and welcome back to another movie review. In today's movie review, I'm going to be doing a movie review on the new movie which just came out yesterday, and of course it's also the 15th and final installment in the DCU franchise, and it's also the sequel to the 2018 film Aquaman, and this review is on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, or also known as Aquaman 2. But I'm just going to call it Aquaman the Lost Kingdom. So here are the tickets I have here to the movie that I went and saw with my Uncle Charles and Dad at Cinemark. I'm going to put them inside my movie ticket collection right here. There we go. Good. So anyway, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is the sequel to the 2018 Aquaman in the DCEU, and is once again directed by James Wan. So, and also once again stars Jason Momoa as Aquaman himself, Jason Momoa, Patrick Wilson, Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, Nicole Kidman, and so on. So, in this movie, after failing to defeat Aquaman the first time, Black Manta wields the power of the mythic Black Trident to unleash an ancient and male violent force. Hoping to end his reign of terror, Aquaman forges an unlikely alliance with his brother, the former king of Atlantis. Setting aside their differences, they join forces to protect their kingdom and save the world from destruction. And yeah, it's basically like your typical save the world from destruction, but yeah. So I really enjoyed the first Aquaman from 2018. It was also the last 2018 release that I went and saw in theaters during the year 2018, 5 years ago. I remember I went and saw the first Aquaman back in late 2018, 5 years ago, and I think the first Aquaman is an awesome movie, and it also became the first and only DCU film in the franchise where the first Aquaman grossed $1 billion at the worldwide box office. The first Aquaman was a massive success. And then of course a sequel came out 5 years later, and this is also the very last DCU film right before James Gunn creates a new DC universe in 2025 with Superman Legacy. This movie, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, has suffered a lot of post-production, setbacks, and lots of reshoots during filming for this film. And like I said, this movie also suffered a really long time of post-production, some post-production delays and reshoots during filming, and it went through a lot of release date changes. But yeah, so it's already released. So how does the movie play out? While I really enjoyed the first Aquaman from 2018, I gotta say this movie was not as good. It was not as good as the first Aquaman, but of course my dad kind of liked this movie, and of course my Uncle Charles liked this movie a lot more than me, because in my opinion, guys, this movie wasn't bad or anything. It's not bad or anything. It's not bad. It's just an okay movie. It's just an okay sequel to Aquaman, but rather a forgettable movie, because it was okay, but forgettable. And this is basically one of those superhero sequels that I'm probably not going to remember anytime soon after this movie came out, which is yesterday. But that won't be until later in a long time or something like that. But I will always remember the first Aquaman from 2018, and I gotta say, I prefer the first Aquaman. I thought was better than this movie. But there are a little bit of positives I have with Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, while at the same time there are some flaws I have. Some of the CGI that was in this film was pretty predictable, and the story itself was kind of weak in my opinion. That's just my opinion. It's just the story was kind of weak, and most of the CGI was pretty much predictable in terms of blue screen or green screen effects were pretty predictable. And But one positive I do have with the film is that there is some good acting in this film. Like I gotta say, Jason Momoa is still an awesome Aquaman, and Patrick Wilson, he was fine enough, and Yahya Abdul-Mateen II, I mean, he was pretty cool, I guess, like, but I think I preferred him more in the first movie. Nicole Kidman was there, and yeah. Oh yeah, and of course, my biggest flaw, and which I'm sure it's also everyone's biggest flaw they have with Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. The biggest flaw I have with this film is Amber Heard. Yeah, that the girl that used to marry to Johnny Depp. Yeah, Amber Heard. Like, cause while Amber Heard was only seen in one part in the trailer. Like the most disappointing thing about this movie is that Amber Heard was actually in this movie for most of the movie. Like, throughout most of the movie, Amber Heard was just one of the main characters in this film. And yeah, because like Amber Heard was not really good in this film. Like, and believe me, guys, trust me, I really hate Amber Heard. Like, the way she treated Johnny Depp. And yeah, Johnny Depp will always remain better. And of course, yeah, ever since Johnny Depp won the case between him and Amber Heard, yeah. And I'm pretty sure not a lot of people are gonna see this movie all because Amber Heard's in it. I mean, from my perspective, she didn't really ruin the movie for me, but still, that was still one of my flaws I have with the film. Like the way Amber Heard was kept in the film, and they didn't recast her character and all that stuff. Yeah, maybe this movie maybe during principal photography and filming for this movie, maybe they completed filming Amber Heard's scenes in this film like right before Johnny Depp won the case between him and Amber Heard. But oh well, it is what it is, and yeah, Amber Heard was one of my was also another flaw I had with the film, and. But besides Amber Heard being remained in the film, the movie itself was just okay. But most times it was pretty forgettable. And that's also one of the things that makes it not as good as the first Aquaman. And of course, I already know this movie's gonna fail miserably at the box office, because I already know it's gonna fail at the box office, just like every DCU film that came out this year. Shazam: Fury of the Gods, The Flash, which failed so bad. The Flash that failed miserably as well, became one of the biggest box office bombs in history. The Flash, and of course and before Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, there was Blue Beetle. And in my opinion, I gotta say, Blue Beetle I thought was the best DCU film that came out this year. Because if I had to pick and say which DCU film was the best one that came out this year, I think it would have to be Blue Beetle, since I did enjoy Blue Beetle, and this right here, Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, was probably my least favorite of the DCU film of the DCU this year, and probably one of the DCU's most weakest releases, especially for its 15th and final installment. Because I know I've been hearing a lot from people that, including my Uncle Charles, like James Gunn creating a new DC universe, and with Superman Legacy in 2025. And of course, now that I'm reviewing this movie, I've reviewed every single DCU film on YouTube, all the way from Man of Steel to this movie. And also, Man of Steel was actually the only DCU film I actually did not see in theaters, because that was at the time I was taking some years off from going to the movies, like a hiatus from going to the movies until 2014. So yeah, so I think my first DCU film I saw in theaters, I think it was Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. Because in the DCU, they didn't really release anything in 2014 or 2015. And of course, if we're not counting the Snyder cut, like Zack Snyder's Justice League, because Zack Snyder's version of Justice League was released on HBO Max, while the Joss Whedon cut was released theatrically. And the 2017 theatrical cut of Justice League that Joss Whedon directed, the one I saw in theaters, and some of us did. But the Snyder cut will always remain the best one, and of course the real Justice League, not Joss Whedon's Justice League. And in general, if I had to pick one DCU film that had to be the best one, in my opinion, I'm not sure because there's been like a lot. So I guess it would have to be the 2021 Suicide Squad that James Gunn directed, the Suicide Squad. I'm not talking about the 2016 Suicide Squad with Will Smith and Margot Robbie. I mean, Margot Robbie was actually in the James Gunn Suicide Squad, but I gotta say I prefer that over the 2016 Suicide Squad. It was still good nevertheless. And yeah, and also the first Shazam was also an awesome and fun one too. The first Shazam, yeah. Oh yeah, and the first 2017 Wonder Woman. I mean, the sequel Wonder Woman 1984. I mean, because I remember really liking it when it first came out on Christmas Day of 2020. But then it's like, after 3 years of being on Letterboxd, I hardly remember the fact that I actually gave Wonder Woman 1984 a 5 out of 5. Like, I'm not sure what was I thinking, because I don't really remember giving Wonder Woman 1984 a 5 out of 5, like a perfect score. But oh well, maybe I was too generous about Wonder Woman 1984. I don't know. But regardless, Aquaman 2 and the Lost, oh, excuse me. Regardless, Aquaman the Lost Kingdom was okay. I mean, it's not a bad movie, but it's just rather a forgettable sequel to Aquaman, and it's just an okay movie because there were a little bit of positives, while at the same time some flaws, like with some negatives, like Amber Heard being remained in the film. And yeah, and this is the 15th and last DCU film. But it was kind of an underwhelming closure of the DCU. So yeah, because I know this is not a perfect film because there are some flaws like I mentioned in this review. But like I said, my Uncle Charles enjoyed this movie a lot more than me, and my dad liked it for the most part in his opinion because he hardly remembers the first Aquaman, but he kind of liked Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. But like I said, my Uncle Charles enjoyed this movie a lot more than me, since I thought it was okay, but it was just average and forgettable at the same time. So yeah. So overall, Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom was an average but forgettable DCU film for its last film. And I'm gonna give Aquaman the Lost Kingdom 3 stars out of 5. Yeah. If you're looking for some movies to see during the holidays or before Christmas or anything like that, I say go see Wonka instead. Since my Uncle Charles mentioned as we were walking out of Cinemark, my Uncle Charles mentioned that this movie was not as good as Wonka, and another Warner Brothers release. Yeah, so because I would recommend going to see I recommend go see Wonka. Yeah, yeah. So I would also recommend checking out the first Aquaman as well. So there you have it, guys. All 15 DCU films have been reviewed. I reviewed them all on YouTube for the past 10 years, and yeah, it's like around the same time when I joined YouTube for the second time back in 2013. But of course I didn't start doing movie reviews until 2016. So, but yeah, I reviewed every DCU film on YouTube, kind of like how I reviewed every Blue Sky Studios film ever on YouTube, since Blue Sky has been gone since 2021. But that has nothing to do with this. This is just a review on the final DCU film. Yeah. But yeah, so Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom, like I said, I didn't really hate it, to be honest. Like I mean I didn't hate it that much. It was just a disappointing conclusion to the DCU, but oh well. It is what it is. So there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review on Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying, if I don't plan on making more movie reviews for the holidays or Christmas, like I wish you all subscribers and fellow subscribers out there, I wish you all a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas to people out there who celebrate Christmas and other holidays. Like I just said, I wish you all a happy holidays and a Merry Christmas. And a Happy New Year, too. Getting ready for 2024. All right. Anyway, and as usual, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying, goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.